thanks to the support as a channel member, James Maples. Well, a slight stutter in our first Champions League group game this season means we find ourselves needing to go to Borussia Dortmund away from home and pick up a victory, which hopefully isn't as complicated as it sounds. Hello and welcome to part 149 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that Champions League game away against Dortmund, and we're also away against Birmingham in the Premier League. We call that the reverse Jude Bellingham. Look at that. Kev's got actual current football knowledge. Holy smokes. Who'd have thought? We never knew this day would come, etc. It's because he's a Football Manager wonder kid, and Football Manager tweeted about it. It's the only reason I know. You know it's the only reason I know. But still, set up this entire episode just to be able to do that. Since you were last with me, mixed form. We drew at home against Porto in our first Champions League game. We've had a lovely big win against Shrewsbury. The wins we've picked up in the Premier League, though, have been fairly hard-fought ones. We beat Villa 1-0, Nixon Burke scoring a header from a corner. We beat Burnley 1-0 with Addo scoring a penalty in the 91st minute. We then struggled to a draw at home against QPR. We are officially fourth in the league and only 2 points off the top. But I think that's more a symptom of nobody being really good yet this season, rather than us being really good and right in the mix from the start. Nobody seems to have found their feet yet. I think there was a lot of rebuilding over the summer after we shocked the world by winning the league. And we're one of the ones that did a lot of rebuilding. I still don't know what my best 11 is. I certainly don't know who my best striker is. And Domenico's injured today, so we're going to go back to Soma and give him a little bit of a try. Gomez will be first reserve today. So this is the team for the Dortmund game. We're going with Mendoza in goal, a back four of Guelladucci, Da Silva, Diaz and Arango. Bonilla at the base of the midfield, Addo and Sarmiento ahead of him, and then Cook, Soma and Ricardo as our front three. We have got a nice little collection of injuries that are accumulating. In addition to Domenico being injured, Jusper's injured, Steinman's injured, Cerna-Jaki's injured. So, yeah, I'm going to use that as my excuse for our stuttering start. Not the fact that I don't know what my best team is, more the fact that Steinman, Cerna-Jaki and Domenico, according to star ratings at least, are three of our four best players, along with Da Silva. So to have three of our four best players unavailable is always going to be a challenge. Right, I'm expecting a win tonight. That has confused Ricardo Soma. I mean, he speaks English now. There shouldn't be any reason for confusion. I expect you to beat Borussia Dortmund. I did describe it in the intro myself as complicated, though, so maybe he's taking that a little bit too literally. I didn't mean complicated. I meant difficult. Do I have to re-record the intro for you, Ricardo? Or are you just going to get your head down and score a couple of goals for us today? Because Gomez is breathing down your neck. Arango getting wide. Cross comes in looking for Soma, but it's nowhere near him. Falls to Guelladucci. Now Bonilla giving it back to Arango again, who's forcing his way forward on this right-hand side, doing very well to try and weasel out a crossing situation. That's football talk. Lee Cook scored with less than a minute on the clock. That was the end result of all that faffing about. Arango did some really, really good work on the right-hand side. Ricardo getting involved as well. And Cook was just right place, right time to grab himself another goal. Addo with the driven shot. Soma with the effort against the goalkeeper. And Cook was there to tap in the rebound. 3 minutes gone. We've now got a corner. Cook in with the outswinger looking for the near post. But didn't get anywhere near a Bourne player, and Ricardo has given the ball away there out on this left-hand side, and Dortmund looking to counter-attack with speed, and that's exactly what they're doing, and they've scored. And there's now 3 minutes on the clock, and it's 1-1. So what looked like a really good start to the game has now just been, well, this is one of those games you don't want to miss the first few minutes of, because we've both come out of the blocks on fire. And when you score inside the first minute, you always hope it's going to be a fun day. What is Mendoza doing there? His dive is so late. So late. His positioning was poor. He dived really late. I'm not going to scapegoat him. He's a world-class goalkeeper. He just hasn't shown that to us at any point yet. Ricardo trying to get in the Cerna-Jaki position from these long throws. It's probably not quite so effective with him. Well, it's a really poor goal kick, and Addo collects it, plays it back to Arango, which is always a good move because Arango has looked very dangerous there. I think Ricardo's lurking offside there. We tried to slot the ball through to him. It didn't get there, and now Dortmund with another counter-attack with huge pace again. My goodness, that one's been disallowed for offside, I think. But they are punishing us with these counter-attacks. That's twice now. They have just come at us full speed. And I mean, a good manager at this point probably lowers their defensive line a little bit, maybe commits fewer men forward from these set pieces to try and like counter the counter. I'm just going to keep attacking and hope we outscore them. We'll have a basketball score. It's fine. Arango, again, getting into an attacking position. But again, they win the ball back and he's forward. So they're up against a back three with Bonilla stood in front of them. They've skipped past, I think that was Diaz. But Mendoza does well there to make the save. And Cook is second to the one. It's not often Cook is the second to anything. Cook is usually very, very quick. And Dortmund look like a scary, fast team, which I think is going to... it's going to be problematic. It's going to be so problematic. They are ruining us. Yikes. 18 minutes gone. It's now 2-1 to Dortmund, who, by the way, lost to Montpellier while we were drawing with Porto. So, theoretically, this is an easier group than what we've had in previous Champions League campaigns, and it really is. We should be better than Montpellier. We should be better than Porto. We should be better than Dortmund. We're the champions of England. These are all... I mean, Porto, I guess, would be an exception. They would usually consider themselves certainly one of the best teams in Portugal. I mean, I guess Dortmund are one of the best teams in Germany. The point is, we're the only ones in this group who are domestic champions this year. We should be winning the group, not on 1 point after 2 games. This leaves us with an awful lot to do. We've got to turn this game around. Diaz lumps it forward. There's nobody there, but Addo is there for the follow-up. Soma's ahead of him. He slots it into Soma. Nice first touch from Soma. Pretty terrible second and third touches, though. What he's actually done there is shown himself onto his own weak foot. He's very left-footed, and he's taken such a heavy touch, which I thought it was a good touch to go past his man, but he sent it out to his right foot, meaning that he never then had the left-footed shot on again. He should have taken it the other way around the defender. That's what I'd have done back in my day, back when I was playing against Dortmund. Why is the referee running around with his arms out in front of him? There was nothing to play on about there. Right, Cook charging down the left-hand side again. But look how they're keeping pace with him. When was the last time you saw anybody keep pace with Cook? It just doesn't happen. He usually rinses people for speed. But this Dortmund side is so fast. Cook now with the corner again. This one bounces in the area. That had to be over the line. It is over the line from Addo. If I was Diaz, I'd want a steward's inquiry here. I think they call it VAR, or in this case, goal line tech, because I think it goes over the goal, goes over the line from the original shot. We'll have a look at it from the other angle. Cook with the corner. Diaz, I think it's crossed the line there. But Addo makes sure. I'm surprised that's not got down as an own goal, because I think that was going wide. Oh, we were about to get the goal line tech, and I just skipped over it. Doesn't matter. It's 2-2. That's the important thing. And we've got Gomez on the bench, and I think we're probably going to bring him on with 30 minutes to go. Soma is having a poor game. He's looking nervous. He heard me say the word Gomez, which means he's not along for this game. Arango is apparently not having a good game and tiring, which is the opposite of what we've seen happen. But the tiring bit, I'm not going to argue with. Let's have 10 minutes of passion as well. If we can go and nick a winner in this, I mean, to be honest, a draw, I would be happy with a draw based on how well Dortmund played. This is the away game. As long as we can beat them at our place. And I guess just call the Porto result an anomaly. Oh. How on earth is this happening? I know how it's happening. They're fast. But they're also absolutely clinical in front of goal. Because they've only had 4 shots in this entire match and scored 3 times. They look deadly when they pick their spot. They're just not picking their spot very often. I can't imagine this is a system that works on a regular basis, but it's destroying us. They've only had 1 clear-cut chance. Oh, they're just really up for it today, I guess. Demand more. Come on, more. We need more. They're coming through. Oh, word. Oh, my word. Come on now. Do we not want to win the Champions League? I mean, we're not going to win the Champions League this year. That much is already clear. But it's like we don't want to. Sarmiento can come off. We're going to give Briseño another 20 minutes playing as that Mezzala as I try and force him into that role. We've not seen anything of Gomez since he came on. Ricardo's had a poor game. I mean, there's very little redeeming features in this team. Addo's had a good game. And that's about it. And that's not good enough. Should we send Mendoza forward for corners? I don't even remember. How tall is Mendoza? 6'2". Not even worth it. Not even worth it. Unless he's at least 6'4". Keep the goalkeepers out of the way. We've got De Silva, who's already much bigger than Mendoza. So Mendoza doesn't really add much of a threat. Right, Briseño with the counter-attack. Ball over the top for Gomez. Finally, someone remembers that's how Bourne score goals. Ball over the top to Gomez is our trademark. But Gomez can't find the back of the net. We have a corner. It's Cook who's going to try and swing one in, presumably for this near post again where De Silva is lurking. Doesn't find him, but Addo, as he has all day long, comes away with the ball. Addo should not be on the losing side today. He's been the best player on the pitch, apart, I guess, from this guy. Well, 1 point from our first 2 Champions League games was not on the script for this season. We need Cernajacki back quick. We need Steinman back quick. And we need to work out who our striker is and get one of them scoring goals, because we're now in a ridiculous situation where even when Gomez plays, he doesn't score. Right, a couple of changes for the Birmingham game then. Gomez comes in for Soma up front because Soma just wasn't with it at all against Dortmund. Lubinkovic comes in for this. Might be his first start. No, it's his second start in central midfield alongside Sarmiento. We're not making huge changes off the back of a Champions League game. I'm still convinced that Champions League hangover isn't real anymore. And I'm trying to just ignore that it exists. Whether or not I'm right, I guess we'll find out. But Birmingham are definitely, like we said in the team talk, a team we should be beating. They're down in the bottom half of the league, 13th place. We should be capable of beating them relatively comfortably, but we're not doing anything relatively comfortably at the moment, like we saw from the recent form. We are really struggling for goals, which has been not normal for this Bourne team over recent years. Gomez summing it up perfectly by doing a headed clearance from one of our own corners. And now we're under counter-attacking pressure again. De Silva is chasing back, and we've in fact, that wasn't De Silva. Who was that chasing back then? Because it's De Silva who's done the terrible clearance, which has led directly to the goal. And we're now 1-0 down away against Birmingham. I don't understand what is going on this season. So who is this? Ricardo chasing back really well. Well, Ricardo's done well there. De Silva, terrible attempt at a clearance. If you're going to just kick it away without even looking where it's going, you've got to kick it harder than that. He side-footed that into the path of a Birmingham player on the edge of the area. We're demanding more already. That was not okay, that defending from De Silva. Supposedly one of the best defenders in the Premier League. Gomez now, trying to recapture his form of old. A lot of people, and I know what the comments are going to say. It's my fault his form fell off. It is, but not for the reason you think. He didn't stop scoring because I stopped playing him, because we still played him quite a lot last year. He stopped scoring because we changed the system. He was fantastic in the gegenpress. He does, no striker is going to score as many goals in the vertical tiki-taka, though. That's where you get the wingers much more involved. That's why Cernajacki had such a good goal-scoring season last year. That's why Cook's been so threatening. The striker does play a different role in this system, and it's more about bringing in the players around him. So don't expect golden boots out of Gomez, even if he starts every game from now on. And I know, again, some of you will say, we'll switch back to the gegenpress, get the best out of Gomez again. We won the league with the vertical tiki-taka. We won the league without having a striker anywhere near the golden boot. So it's not essential to get a striker scoring. But the problem we've got, with Cernajacki injured, we don't have anyone else scoring either. Ricardo is definitely not the answer on this right-hand side. And Yeah, we don't have Bellico anymore to sit in for Cernajacki when he's unavailable, which we know Cernajacki's going to miss as a minimum 5, 6, 7 games over the course of a season just because of the injuries that he accumulates. And if he gets a big one, he misses even more time than that. So we kind of need a plan B for when Cernajacki's not there. And that's what we don't have. It's not the drop-off of Gomez or the inability to have a striker scoring loads of goals that's our problem. It's the total reliance on Cernajacki that is the problem. And without him today, we're now losing to, I don't want to see. We're losing to Birmingham now. We might have to change the tactic. Even after the speech I've just done. Even after the speech I've just done. This system gets the best out of Cernajacki. But if he's not there, maybe we need to try and... I don't even know. I do not even know. We've built the entire squad around this system and getting the best out of Cernajacki without having a backup for him, which is probably the big squad building mistake I've made this summer. And it's because I decided to try and clear the club's debts over the last year. So fringe players like Bellico, like Janino, like Ariel, these fringe players have moved on. We don't have as much strength in depth now. So we don't have as much flexibility to change the system. The club's going to be in a healthier position for it long term, but this season we might suffer a bit for it. On the flip side of that, we're still only 5 points off the top of the league. Arango's in here, and Arango normally scores that. Oh dear. And it's been a terrible performance from Gomez again. So he can come off. We're going to bring Briseño on in midfield and scream and shout. Demand more. Come on. Just do something. Ricardo's pressured. You want to be pressured, you numbskull. You've been useless. We might have to go to a diamond in the absence of Cernajacki, although I think we've got an international break coming up now, and he should be fit after that. So this should be the last game we have to play without him. But we've been genuinely awful in 2 games without him in the team. Because no one is stepping up to fill that void. And it's still Birmingham attacking. The Champions League hangover is real. I told you all. You wouldn't believe me. We should have played the reserves today. Oh, we'll just bring regulars on. I know Addo was the best player in the last game. So there's an argument to bring him on. My argument is, what's the point at this stage? We're not going to get back into the game. Cook with the in-swinger. De Silva with the shot. And it's saved. And we've now had... Have we had as many clear-cut chances as they have? So again, it's coming down to no clinical finisher. 2 really, really poor performances. That's what you've seen. What I've seen is like 5 in a row now. So we've had those 2 terrible defeats. That game was awful. That's an exception. That was boring as anything. That was awful. That was boring and awful. That was pretty challenging. We've not actually played well since the Tottenham game, where, what do you know, Cernajacki scored. Something's got to change. And it's got to change before the next episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.